Hey friends, welcome to the Platinum Guide for AI Limit. And because we recently finished and platinumed first Berserker Kazan, at least I hope you did, I'm certainly very glad you're tuning in once again today. And today, as you know, we're doing AI Limit to Platinum. There will naturally be several episodes again. I assume it will be around 20 episodes. And of course, I would be delighted if you give a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. So let's dive right in, friends. And here in the first level, there are actually already some hidden items. But of course, we'll find them all again and start with the rusty longsword, which we obviously need to be able to attack initially. Yes, I tried it out a bit, and it's actually pretty cool, and we can perform some really cool attacks. However, I would recommend switching to dual weapons later on because they are just way cooler. For me, it was definitely the game changer. Yes, just run through here, and there's not much to collect at first. 2-3 enemies, you can still take down the enemy by the fence. Take this thing with oil balls. They are meant for you to regain a small amount of health, as you might expect, of course. But these balls also get used up, and the health only increases very slowly. So oil balls are consumable items, and later you'll get a potion that you can use repeatedly. As you know from Souls-like games, yes, continue here, take down the first enemies, and there's already a pretty strong enemy down here. You don't necessarily have to kill him, you don't really need him, you can just go in here and get the item. You can certainly do that as well. It's important that you read the note here, of course. And the enemy doesn't have anything except, of course, a lot of experience points. And that's why I decided to take him on right away, because he gives you a good feel for the game and you can get some good practice with him. The path isn't too long. Make sure to pick up the crystals here. And if you're up for it, you can fight him. If you're not in the mood, you can just move on, but I already took him down earlier. And as I said, he gives quite good points. So definitely, if you're interested, take down the enemy here, but it's not mandatory. However, we do get a Glimmering Carbon, which is very, very good for upgrading your weapon. That's the material we need for it, at least at the beginning. And that's already an advantage because you can upgrade your weapon right away. So try to take him down. That would be my choice, and then continue accordingly. Otherwise, you might be a bit weaker, perhaps. But we'll find enough of it anyway. So, if you're not interested, just keep moving on. You will get... Then the weapon ability is explained, and you can, of course, test it directly on the next enemy. And this skill always consumes energy from your percentage bar. And if you have less than 50%, you get stopped. More damage from the enemies. Very important. And every parry attempt and every block attempt also consumes percentages. This will become relatively important later, because here it's not like you can just keep pressing parry all the time, and then maybe eventually intercept an attack, because every time you press parry, your percentage bar goes further down, and if you're below 50% and get hit, then it hits hard. Then you'll really take a lot of damage. Yes, definitely so far so good. For a brief explanation, grab the oil here. Then proceed along the main path and follow it there. Down below there are a few more enemies, 3 or 4 in total. Up there you see an item. We can only get it at the very end. So don't worry about it for now. First take out all the enemies here and then continue along the main path. Once you've gotten into the groove a bit and defeated all the enemies down here, it naturally becomes a bit easy. But friends, don't worry, it will get significantly harder. So, here the backstab is explained to you again. Of course, we'll do that too, and you can always perform it when you parry an attack. However, the parry attack will only be unlocked for you shortly. Go through here once, grab the crystal at the back, and know it's actually a mini bomb, and we'll take it with us. Watch out, you'll be dropped here once. Just go through and knock this guy down. And once we've done that, we move on. Be careful, the enemies randomly drop loot, like oil balls or crystals. We always take them with us, but it might also happen that you don't drop something or drop something else. But, well, we definitely pick up the important items. Watch out. Take out the little crawlers at the back here, and then we can grab the item in the middle. And it's nothing great that the people here are guarding, so from there, let's take 5 stones with us. They are, of course, very important, very, very important that we have them with us. So we are now taking the rest with us, namely the old notepad. That is definitely important, unlike the stones. And we are, of course, taking it with us, then opening the door at the back here and coming to the canal cleaner. This is the first mini-boss, but only for practice. It will soon appear again as a regular enemy. Be careful, when you have killed him, he will explode afterwards. And now you get the magnetic gun here. It's a little range special, but it also deducts percentages from your bar. And, of course, below the percentage bar is your health bar. And with that, you now have everything you need to start the fight. So at 100%, you naturally deal the most damage. Let's continue through, and here sits an NPC with whom we can have a little dialogue. He will tell you a bit about the world. So we talk to him completely to learn a little more. We then simply continue straight through the tunnel and come out here by the water. It goes down into the canal there, but we first continue straight ahead and grab the pure crystal here, then go through the pipe and enter the next section. And here we go left, up the stairs, all the way along, and once you reach the top, you have a conversation with the young lady. And once you have finished the conversation, you go to the crystal, or rather, to the branch, which then serves as the checkpoint here. You will find these branches repeatedly in the world, and they are basically your bonfire. And here you can also level up or recharge your potions. Yes, you can distribute your level later, but I wouldn't do it right now, because you first need to see which weapon you are actually using. If you use a normal weapon or the two-handed sword, you should focus on strength. Otherwise, you should definitely speak with the lady again, because she now gives you, basically, your real potion. And there, you have received life dew 3 times. And you can, of course, use it, just like the Estus flasks from Dark Souls. Yes, here, we talk to her once and then choose to share her vision on the branch. And thus, we continue the dialogue here. Once you've done all that, you can immediately choose a weapon. And I would actually recommend the 2 swords to you. I found them the coolest. Unfortunately, I chose the Longsword. And then I switched directly in the next level, but do as you like. The dual swords are a fast weapon. The Longsword, of course, is a standard weapon, as we already have now. And the greatsword deals a lot of damage, especially if you always focus on strength, so it depends on your playstyle. I found the leaf effect spear swords to be the best. In any case, let's go through it once. As I said, I took the wrong one. I found dual blades much cooler, and we also play them from level 2. Walk through here once, and you see this item here again, which we currently can't get yet. That's why we just walk straight ahead. Further, we are now equipped, have our flasks with us, and can still talk to the NPCs here in dialogue. Yes, you can, of course, always use the potions and refill them at the bonfire, or rather at the branch. Refilling is easy. Just continue through here and you'll find a small elevator at the end. Go in there once and take the elevator to the next floor. Once at the top, we can simply continue straight ahead. Here, an enemy is hiding in the left corner, and there are also some hidden inside here. But there's also a loot here. That's why you should also take care of the enemies behind the crates. And then tidy up a little bit here. Once we've tidied up here, we'll of course carefully grab the next item and then carefully take the mobile flame with us, ensuring it is secure. With that, you can set your weapon on fire and deal a lot of damage. And that's quite useful from time to time. Take out the enemies here and grab the next item from the pile of trash. This time it's another oil orb. These oil orbs disappear once you use them, so be a bit more frugal with them. Unlike with the regular health potions, just keep moving through and grab them. Open the large door back here, and then we enter the next section. First, head to the right. Go through the crates here. It's a bit hard to see, but this is the way to go. Watch out, there's a chasm ahead. So definitely jump over it. And here comes the mini-boss as a regular enemy. We'll take him out quickly and then grab the next item. Here. After we've killed the robot and skillfully dodged its explosion, we come up here and can safely take the next item. Forged steel blade. Yes, you keep getting new weapons. If you have a lot of strength skills, you can actually carry anything, so to speak. Personally, I focus more on finesse achievement to upgrade the dual blades in their strength. Then go back, jump over the chasm once. And now we just run straight through. Of course, we take out all the enemies on the way and grab the next item we see back there. So, take down all the enemies. Run through here. I've already taken care of everyone, and we'll grab the magnetic storm back here. Yes, the thing is thrown like a grenade, basically, and then it deals damage accordingly. Continue straight ahead up the stairs, and we will naturally reach the next section. Who would have thought? Have we arrived here? Watch out, there are really quite a few enemies coming, and the first big one, just take them all down. Because we obviously want to crack the safe at the back, and of course we'll also take the machine parts with us. Open the safe once, and bam, open the thing up. And of course, there's some nice loot inside. Outfit for travelers. Yes, of course you can look in your luggage to see if you need to change your equipment. Want to. Otherwise, just continue straight through here and you'll reach the next section. Be a bit careful here and stay vigilant. A mechanical robot shoots from behind, so to avoid getting hit, proceed to the right side behind the sandbags, and you can hide behind the sandbags safely and securely. Grab the crystal remains, but leave everything else for now. Just keep moving through here until you reach the next pipe. You can always run back and forth in a zigzag pattern here, and then go right through the pipe. The items lying there, we'll collect them later. And of course, I'll show you how to do that. Don't forget the very important stone that's still lying here at the corner. And you don't necessarily have to take it with you. Yes? Okay, let's continue. We are at the first checkpoint, the first real checkpoint in the level. And here we can, of course, craft the branch again and upgrade ourselves friends. And as I said, it always somewhat depends on which weapons you are playing. Otherwise, strength is always a good choice. Vitality, and if you played with dual blades, then upgrade to finesse. So once everything is upgraded, we continue. Then we can follow the corridor here, go straight through. And then we find a memory here. We definitely need to collect all of them. So make sure to take the memory with you. It's very important that you do this, because you will essentially get something here. The counter field with which you can parry and thus also take out enemies. But really, as I said, be careful. You can't just keep doing it all the time. Press L1 to counter, because it deducts from your percentage bar each time. And accordingly, using the counter here is indeed very strategic. And with caution, just pressing here won't work. You'll see it goes down pretty quickly. After pressing twice, we were already at 77%. And if you look at it for an enemy, you'll see quite quickly that it's obviously quite useful because you deal a lot of damage. Take the crystal remnants back here, friends. Then we practiced and explained countering a bit, and then we just continue through the fog. Here you can also use your counter again if you want to practice a bit more. But otherwise, we just slash the guy away and continue straight through. And then we're in the next section. Yes, be a bit careful here, friends. You can fall down quite easily at the pipe. And an enemy also comes out of the fog. Be a bit careful there so that he doesn't surprise you from behind. Yes, once you've dealt with him, we can continue running over the pipe. We'll also take the oil balls here. And watch out. Now a big enemy and a kind of archer are coming from behind. Take care. Take them all down and then climb the ladder to get to the next section. And watch out. Quite a few enemies are coming now, plus a robot. And you should definitely take care of all of them because there's also a secret passage there. So first take down the enemy here, grab the mobile electrification at the back, and you can catch the enemy on the right very well from behind. Once you've done that, continue through and take out the robot and the other guy. By the way, they also fight against each other, which I find pretty cool. Yes, at the back there are some crystal remnants, and don't go further over the pipe, friends. Let's head back first. Because here under the boxes there is a passage, and we need to go down there to collect some nice items, so let yourself drop down here. And then there's the first loot here, and on the left we can also open the door. There's only a stone here, but inside there are really useful items. For instance, right, there's a mini bomb here, and Glimmering Carbon, which is essentially used to upgrade your weapons. So make sure to come here again to quickly become stronger. Then jump over here, climb the ladder back up, and you're back at the top where you fought the robot. And from there, of course, we can continue over the pipe that we saw at the end. So just keep going, Auntie, straight through here, and at the very end, take the pipe back there and continue downwards. Attention, important friends, pay close attention here, so you don't fall down the wrong way, because we're going to jump over the hole here first. It's best to take a bit of a run up and jump over it, and then we'll reach the next area. And here we definitely take care of the enemies, and thus also go the right way. So continue running along here. And be careful, some will come out on the left. And there is also loot here that we absolutely need. And that's why we have to enter this room one way or another. Once you've dealt with all the enemies, make sure to collect the note. Magnetic Storm and machine parts back here. And with that, we've already done that. Continue straight through here. And you'll come to an area that we'll be passing through quite frequently because it has many stations here. So first take out all the enemies here. And then, of course, grab the nice, tasty safe that's standing there. We definitely want to open that. Be careful, there's still some glimmering carbon back here by the crates. Definitely take that with you and then open the safe here. And then at least you'll have the most important items. But there are still some things lying around here, folks. And there are also hidden paths here. Here we now get the next armor, which you can of course put on if you like. Then we go to the door, open it, and we're basically back at the checkpoint. But now we go back into the previous room because there are more paths there. Feel free to upgrade yourself first, level up, and you can even now, since we already have the carbon, exactly 3 pieces if you've collected them all and killed the enemy at the beginning, you can now also simply upgrade your weapon. As I said, I upgraded the Longsword, which in hindsight was a mistake for me because I now prefer to play with dual weapons, and I find them much cooler because they are simply much faster and it's just more fun. It's simply a different game. Okay friends, let's continue and head back to the room we came from. There are still some paths we need to take there. So take out the enemies here again, collect some points so you can upgrade nicely again. And once we've dealt with all of them, we can pick up the note back here in case you don't have it yet. Otherwise, there's really nothing else in this corner, but in this corner where the crates are, we can break through. And then we arrive in this section. There's an NPC here brewing something nice. We get some oil balls here and can have a quick chat with him. Additionally, there's a note here that we should definitely touch. At least confirm once. Then we go down here. And be careful, folks. There are a lot of enemies here that you can't really see yet. Take out all of them behind the crates. And once you've defeated all the enemies here, there are really many, including a few big ones. Then you can head to the corner back here. And there's also a halberd here, which you can take with you or equip if you play with large two-handed weapons. We'll also take the smoldering carbon as we need it for upgrades. And once we've collected everything here, we can briefly go through here again. Because now we basically come out again where we just jumped over the hole when we fell down. So run along here, it's basically a small loop. And at least grab the nut here. And go ahead and read the note. We'll come back here later anyway. So you don't necessarily have to get everything here because we'll be heading straight back out again soon. Just so you already know the place, because we need the key back there. And yes, there are also a few enemies here. We can actually get some good points here, which is very important, especially at the beginning, and they are not far away. So let's take care of the enemies here and grab what's left. A bit of loot and also read the note at the back, which we definitely want as well. Once we've dealt with the guy, we go over there and grab his equipment again. And then we head back here and read the note. There's something nice written on it. And once we've read it, we can almost head back. This place is clear now because we will need to come back here later. The door is locked and we will quickly go back to get the key now. And then back in the main area where all the crates were, you simply head towards the ladder and climb up. If you've collected everything here, feel free to double check. And once you've done all that, we go up here and arrive back at the hidden NPC and in the main area. You can of course upgrade again if you want. Feel free to do that if you have enough points. And then we continue accordingly. Yes, touch the branch and move on. We go back into the corridor where we were just now. And this time we go through the broken wall at the back. So feel free to take out the cheap enemies here. And then we can grab a few more points. And as we go further in here, there are a few more crawling ones. We take care of them as well and grab the crystal at the back. We have the enemy crystal plus, one in our pocket. Now proceed carefully here, because on the right is that robot that shoots at you. And here you always attack its hand. Watch out, he sometimes stomps on the ground and that deals quite a bit of damage. So always make a few hits, 3, 4, 5 hits, and then move away again until you've defeated him. Then he's down, falls over, you get a lot of points, you get machine parts +3. Additionally, you can now calmly collect the loot here where he was shooting at us before. And of course we take that with us too. There's also a carbon and a pure crystal here. And back here there are more crystal remnants, so it's definitely worth it to destroy the robot. And it's also super easy, very important to break it, because now we can walk a path behind it. But first we'll take the mobile electrification here. And then back here on the right, we can carefully walk along and grab another item. Yes, we slowly go over here, in a Dark Souls manner. We balance our way over to the next item and definitely grab it, because we definitely want to have it. And that's the Reservoir Key, which takes us one floor lower. And we can now use it where we just had the door. If you feel like it, go ahead and re-equip yourself, maybe switch out the weapons or the gear. By now you might have found some better items. If you haven't equipped them yet, feel free to do so now. Otherwise, we now need to use the key, and we use it on the door I just showed you. So just go back again, specifically to the room with the just crack in the wall where we basically came through. There's still a bit of loot from the enemies here, but essentially we're actually going back now to the door where we can use the key. So break the crates here again. Here we come back into the corridor. Then we come back down here. You don't need to kill all the enemies down here now. You can just run straight through along the left here and then unlock the door. So feel free to ignore the enemies here. You can also go very slowly. Walk slowly. Then they won't even notice you're there. Just run through here and open the thing at the back again. Yeah, and then you're almost there. Or just walk through here once. No one actually followed me, so we can just keep going straight ahead here. Yeah, then turn left here, and there's the door where we can use the key now, and then we'll come to it again, to a really strong enemy. soon, which you can also defeat, but first go down here and you'll see down there. It's like a bigger worm, you always have to destroy them because they're basically like the drakes in Demon Souls and give you weapon upgrades or cool loot. They don't really fight back much. You can just smash them and then you've basically improved your character a little bit. That's why it's important to always find these worms. When you've defeated the worm, you also get a Dew Essence, which is for health restoration. And yes, that's always good because with that, we basically get the potions up by 1 higher. Just continue through this path you have traversed before, and now you're back at the familiar ladder. From this ladder, we have the option to ascend once and successfully unlock the door up here, a door that was previously inaccessible. And thus we have a shortcut here in case you should die now, which is very likely because the next enemy is pretty tough. Yes, you're done here. Go back down the ladder, then go right and follow this path. You'll see below there's a really big enemy and he's already quite strong. Especially his whirlwind attack is pretty intense. Try to parry him as best as you can and grab an item on the left here. Watch out for the hole in the ground. Please don't fall in there, otherwise you'll have to walk the whole way again. It's a bit tricky and well hidden. And in my panic I took another potion. And with 2 potions, I think the one below is not really doable. So you really need to be well skilled for that, which is relatively rare at the beginning. And then I also fell down the ladder. Well, in any case, you take down the enemy once. As I said, you'll probably have to fight him multiple times. Make sure she always has full energy in case he does manage to break through. But, as I said, you can parry him quite well and then it works here too. But I really did it. It was already a tough fight for the beginning. Let's also take the items with partial reconstruction and maybe with the greatsword, but especially with the dual weapons, it would certainly have been a bit easier. So we have looted everything down here, of course. We also get plenty of points for upgrading. Then we go back up the ladders completely and are back in the area where we pushed the robot down. Here we simply continue through the tunnel on the right and follow the pipe. Of course, a few more enemies will appear here, and then the first boss will appear shortly. It's important that you have about 1000 to 1100 crystals now. You'll need to buy something at a shop soon, so if you're about to upgrade, try not to spend too much, otherwise you'll have to farm again. Run straight through here, and you'll get a shield at the back, which you can, of course, use for blocking as a defensive option. Personally, I definitely prefer to use the counter ability, but it's certainly up to you which of the 2 items you absolutely use and which you prefer to play with. I didn't find the shield to be so super cool. Somehow I'm more used to countering, especially since we just played through Kazan with Platinum. Countering is definitely appropriate. Let's go in here. And you'll see there's a first stronger enemy, and he's already a bit tougher, but take him down. And you'll get Carbon and a Ragged Cloak here. And, of course, we can go ahead and put that on. Once we've done that, it's absolutely important. There's a hidden passage here that you should definitely take. But first, take your time to equip yourself, and then we can continue following the next passage here. So, we've done that. And here in the pipe on the right, you can see some wood blocking the way. Make sure to break it so you can get down to the lower area. And there, you can collect a bit more loot. Just follow the path here. Be careful as there are some more enemies coming up. There's an oil orb here, which we'll of course take with us. Deal with the enemies here, and then simply continue through. Just follow the path completely until we come out at the pipe at the back. And now you have to balance a bit, just like in Dark Souls. Take care of the enemy here, and you'll soon see what I mean. Keep the camera very, very straight on the beam here, and try then jump over the beam. So I'll quickly take out the enemies here and then I'll show you how it works. Walk along here over the beams, over the pipe, and really keep the camera very, very straight at the pipe back there. And then jump over so you don't fall down. So you can also do a roll, and then it works quite well. Because there's also a carbon here, with which you can upgrade your weapon. Now continue through here. Go up here along the path, there's an enemy hanging on the wall. Here we'll take them all out, 3 of them, but they shouldn't be a problem. And we now also have enough crystals, so continue running straight through here. And you'll come out of the pipe again and be back up here, if you've just run through. There's another robot here, grab it quickly as it currently has low energy. Take the carbon here as well, and take out the 2 enemies. And then we can of course continue. This guy here isn't as strong as he looks or pretends to be. Yes, be a little careful with him. He's a bit stronger than others, but 2-3 hits usually take them down quickly at the beginning, and then continue through the crates here. They can go through the crates, and then we're basically in the next area. I checked here again to see if we might have missed something, but we have to go through here once, so hopefully we'll do that right away. Because I edited the whole thing together, I could have cut out a bit more here. Yes, let's continue through. There's a robot coming from the back. Quickly take care of it, and then you can continue straight ahead and follow the main path. Here on the left, we obviously take the item. It's hard to miss. We grab the oil orb, and then go back here to the left and can go to this door. And we go there once. Check it, open the door. And then we are in the next area. There's still quite a bit of loot here, a little lore story, and also some enemy friends. Take care of them all and grab. Then the items inside. Once you've taken everyone down here, you can grab the bone cracker back here in the left corner. And these are the first dual weapons you can find. And I equipped them right away in the second chapter. So if you play with dual weapons or want to, now is the time to use this thing. I found it super cool and should have equipped it already, but I only equipped it in chapter 2 because I remembered that it somehow was different when I played it for the first time. Well, anyway, we continue through here and you will see some corpses. And as I said, it's important now that you have about 1,000 crystals left, which we can then spend at the merchant, but first go here, maybe to the left, because there's an item there. But we have to go through here anyway and use the elevator at the back. That's why there are crystal remnants here. But before we use the elevator here, I personally went back to the checkpoint to activate it. But don't go further yet, not yet. Go down there, because that's where the first boss in the boss guide will be. I'll, of course, provide that for you on the channel. But if you manage everything, you'll definitely handle the first boss. Now that we've activated the checkpoint, we can of course proceed. And as mentioned, you need about 1,000 crystals, so you can buy the item right away, because otherwise you won't be able to get it. It's very important that you go back here once and head to the elevator. And on the upper floor, or rather on the lower floor, there's a hidden shop. And these shops only appear once specifically in the level. And they always have a specific item that you need to buy, because you won't be able to get it later. So go through the level here, and we first see the one item we know from the very beginning, and we can take it with us now. This is the mobile flame, and back here is the hidden shop. And here you need to buy the wig. So down here, the ponytail, we take it with us once, and then go back here and can now, of course, fight the boss. So run back here once, make sure to buy the ponytail. If not, go looting a bit more, which I had to do, for example, and then go back to the shop and buy the ponytail again. Very important, friends, that you definitely take it with you. It's important so that we have all the equipment items in the end. Therefore, invest 1,000 crystals, even if the thing isn't particularly good. You can still equip it, of course, it has a cool look. And then continue back to the checkpoint. And for that, you can simply use the broken branch, use it in your inventory to teleport back to the checkpoint. Feel free to put the item on the quick bar so you can teleport back at any time. And thus, you are back at the last checkpoint where you basically stopped. and you still have the same crystals. So you don't have to worry about losing crystals. So level up to the checkpoint, and then it's time for the boss fight, friends. I wish you the best of luck. If you have any difficulties, feel free to check out the channel. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see each other next time. Take care, folks. Bye.